Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar. My name is Maheshwari, and I will be taking you through this webinar, which will last about an hour. We are expecting a few more participants. Please bear with us while we wait for them to join for the next 2-3 minutes, and then we'll get started. Thank you. I hope I'm clearly audible. Please give a thumbs up if that is the case, or thumbs down if it is not. Good morning, everyone. Let's get started. Thank you for joining. I'll share my screen, and please let me know through your chat window if you have any questions, or if you are having difficulty hearing me or seeing my screen. My screen visible? I hope you're able to see my screen and also hear me clearly. Let's get started. The purpose of this webinar is to take you through some of the latest features added as part of the release, which was rolled out last week. And it is to some extent assume that you're familiar with AssureAI and especially the features related to financial statement generation. So that is a prerequisite for you to be able to follow this webinar. In case you're not familiar, there are other training sessions which handle the basics of financial statement generation. You can reach out to our marketing team and we will schedule one for you or include you in the upcoming session. So what is changed in the latest release and what we will be covering in this today's session is financial statement generation, which has been made smarter in multiple ways to make it easier purely from the user experience standpoint. There are multiple enhancements made, which we will see. The assignment landing page for annual audit engagement has been revamped to give you the complete context and the complete status from one single view. This is especially useful to the managers. Ask AI feature has been enriched. Some of the context size limitation and hallucination issues which we were facing previously have been overcome. We will see some examples today as well. ITR Excel, which was previously available for Genius and Winman, is now enhanced to include Computax also. And for Winman, they rolled out, previously it was there for Genius and Computax, and Winman support has been added as part of this release. For Computax, there was a new template released recently that has also been brought into our system. Over and above the assignment and tasks which are planned, there is a new feature which was added about a month ago for you to create, if required, plan ad hoc tasks which may not be part of any particular assignment and track time and status of those. That will also be covered towards the end of the session. Throughout this, since this is being conducted in webinar mode, the audience are on mute. If you have any questions, I would request you to type your questions in the chat box and I will review those from time to time and answer. Moving to smarter financial statements, there are a number of enhancements which have been made to financial statements. So even before that, let's complete the assignment landing page new features so that we will go in a logical flow. So this page, I think, is quite familiar to most of you. It was looking different previously and that has been revamped. You can reach this page by selecting the client, annual audit and the period. Right? What is new in this page, we will stress upon. The middle part is more or less same. But on top, this strip has been added, which will give you the complete picture of the assignment where it stands now. For example, in this case, books are not yet imported. So when books are not imported, the system will automatically enable the immediate next step that you need to take so that without training, you can quickly go and complete the entire flow. Here you get the audit documentation status, completion status, and client collaboration status. Where do your issues stand? Who has maximum number of issues on their plate, whether it is with client or view. Likewise, for document requests also, you get the complete picture over here. So this strip on top gives you the complete status of where the annual audit engagement currently stands. It also tells you whether there is a previous year assignment and what is the current status of the previous year assignment and what is the current status of the assignment that you're currently looking at. In the middle part, previously, there was only enabling and disabling of links to guide you through this flow. Right now, we also open up the link that is your immediate next step. For example, the first step in annual audit is to import books. So when books are not yet imported, import books is enabled for you. Subsequently, when books have been imported and data validation is pending, the respective link. And when data validation has been approved and you have to take up ledger classification, the same is enabled here for you. And when everything is complete, even ledger reconciliation is approved, then all the links open up and you also get the current status over here. So please notice that there are two tabs over here. This, what we saw till now, is the pre-audit and fieldwork tab. The other tab is audit documentation. So over here, you get the summary status of all the group tasks that are part of your audit documentation. You can either click load audit program. This is the backward compatibility feature we have provided. For people who are used to this button, you can go click here and go to the main audit documentation screen. Or you can, if you are, let's say, using currently on AS audit procedures, you can click that group task link directly to navigate to the respective task. Task group wise, the percentage completion status is shown here. Overall percentage completion status is shown over here. And at the bottom, you have the issues and doc requests. This is not much changed. Previously, they used to appear one below the other. Currently, we are just showing it side by side. The point here, quickly, what I wanted to cover was that you get the complete status of all the sections of your engagement by looking at this page. When you want to select a new assignment, you can use this select assignment button or this. Previously, there were 3 drop downs on the screen. We have eliminated that to save space and give you more information about this assignment on this page. So this is an example for a single division client. How it looks for a multi-division consolidated client, we will see in due course. Are there any questions till now? So that is about the assignment landing page. Moving on to statement generation. What is changed in financial statements in this releases? So we have merged the draft and financial statements, which were covered in 2 separate flows, 2 separate screens previously, into one, while preserving the functionality as it is. You will now be able to quickly edit the schedules right from the statement page without navigating outside the page and coming back. Consolidated statement now gets generated on the fly, and you can see the division wise and the consolidated statement side by side. These, I think I will cover via a demo to make it clearer. Now coming to the first point of draft and final statement getting merged. If you want to generate draft statement from this page, all you need to do is remove the signatures and add the provisional tag. Once you add the provisional tag, over here also you will see that it is highlighted. And when you generate, as usual, the provisional text is added to all page titles. And when you export financials, you might have noticed that currently you have this default format for export. You don't have to always go to the custom page. The default format of export for draft statement will be used when you enable the provisional tag. I'll just wait for it to get exported in the net. So here you might notice that the default styling for a draft statement, which is Arial font and all black headings, that is used. And this is precisely what you used to call the what you could generate from a separate page called draft statements generation previously. Just to recap, remove the signature, add provisional tag, and there you go. You have your draft statement. How can you generate your final statement? Just remove the provisional tag, include signatures. So when you include signature, like before, some sections are mandatory, some fields are mandatory, some are optional. For example, client signature is mandatory. So you have to click on this, all the available client signatory detail, complete details will be shown over here. You can pick and choose the signatory that you want to include in this statement. Firm details are not mandatory, place and date is mandatory. All the information is available here. One feature we have introduced is to copy signatory from previous year, which is one feedback we had received from our customers. So that option has been added. Once you make your selections for signatory, if you try and generate it now without saving, it will throw an error. The system forces you to save your selection so that for the next time when you visit the same page, the system can remember and present the same settings. So if you see this error, this is the reason that you have not saved the signature information. Now that I have saved the signature information, when I generate this statement, it will come up in the final statement format. And when I export, the default export will use the final statement format again, which will be in Times New Roman font and blue colored headings. Many of you must be familiar with it. Over and above this, if you want to customize any fonts, colors, headings, the option which was there previously is still there. You can choose this custom option to navigate to this page, which gives you a lot of options for customization. So this is about merger of draft and final statement. For the benefit of people who were used to using the draft statement regularly. Moving to the next enhancement. In the balance sheet and profit and loss statement, you will not see much change, except in the way it is, the look and feel of it. The drill down option continues to be there. So from balance sheet or profit and loss, you can drill down to notes. On the notes page, we have added this section called notes option, which will allow you to make all the changes to the subschedules in notes sitting here. You don't have to move out of this page and come back. So this is a corporate's client, and revised schedule 3 format has been selected, which includes subschedules like aging analysis, fixed asset, revised schedule 3 ratios and all that. If you want to, let's say, make changes to fixed asset, you can simply click edit here. The fixed asset screen will come up in a pop-up like this. Both tangible and intangible asset tabs are preset. You can make your changes here if required. So let me just add something. Just to demonstrate. So I have made my change here, and when I close it, regenerate, my fixed asset changes will be reflecting in the financials. Also, there is a placement option available. If you want to keep fixed asset as part of notes on this screen, or you want to view it as part of separate tab. I prefer the tab approach, so I select tab here. So fixed asset tab is created where I can see the schedule separately, not as part of the notes. My changes, whatever I made on screen, is reflecting here, as you can see. Coming back to the notes page. So this inline editing of various subschedules is one feature that has been added. Even additional, comments and disclosures, that is background significant accounting policy, which was in a separate screen, can be edited over here. And if you don't like to do this in a pop-up screen and you want to keep it in a separate tab, that option is also there. Another change or a cool feature which we have added in response to feedback received from multiple clients is additional comments, ability to add and edit additional comments inline. So you don't have to always use this here where you have to manually select head or subhead and the head name and all that. You can be in the notes and add comments right there. So let us say I want to add an additional note to deferred tax liability. I click on that call out symbol. The call out symbol will come up only when you hover over it. Won't be always there, just not to clutter. We have kept it that way. When you hover over note number 4, you get this call out symbol. Click deferred tax liability is already selected, and you can enter your comment to see it right here. When you want to edit a comment which has been already entered, when you hover over the comment, you will get this edit option. So here you can edit it. When you edit head level comments, there is an option now to add tables, content in table format also. For example, this one, I have created this example here, where in this pop-up for cash and cash equivalents, I have used this table option to insert a table and present the disclosure in a tabular format. This will come up. The table is supported in PDF, not in Excel, because Excel, it gets pasted into one cell. So we have tried to present it in a tabular format, but it may not always look as good as it does in PDF. If you want to delete the comment, again, you can click here and delete. This is about additional comment entry. So we have added all these comments. Let us now export the PDF and see how it looks. The template which we added in table format, the disclosure is visible. That's about the features that are available, that are added to the notes page. Just to summarize, all the subschedule edits are available here. Click edit to bring up a pop-up, or open it in a new tab to work on a separate page. You can choose to display the subschedules in the same notes or in separate tabs by using this. What is added in details? Details, the ledger reclassification option has been moved here because this is where it belongs. It is the same feature which was there before. You can click edit, select the ledgers for reclassification. More information has been added here as to when you can expect a ledger to be visible here, because we were getting a lot of support requests, support queries. We've tried to address it by adding the information here. But the functionality itself remains as it was. What is added is ability to hide some sections from the details. So previously, there was an option to hide details for a subhead if, let's say, only one ledger was present under it. Because by making it visible, there was no additional information that you were gaining. But many of our customers wanted to extend that ability to other subheads also. For example, creditor, debtor list grows long and it really makes the statement page, run to multiple pages. So we have added the ability for you to show or hide information under details for specific subheads. So here, for example, I have removed details for all the creditor subheads. So they will be skipped from. They are not there on this page now. Point to note, however, is that this only comes into effect when you export to PDF or Word document. In Excel, all the sections will continue to remain because we also are having formula references in Excel for from notes to details. So for that purpose, all details will continue to be visible on Excel, and only in the PDF we will be hiding the details which you have suppressed. That's about details. Now coming to statement format changes. Fixed assets. Previously, we had only two formats, one called horizontal, which appears like this, and a vertical format, which was as recommended by ICI for non-corporate financials. We received a feedback from some of our customers that the order of these, here it starts with current year opening, then previous year opening, and current year closing, previous year closing. This was not very intuitive. So we have introduced one more vertical format where the order is changed. You start with previous year opening, come to previous year closing, and then current year closing. This was in use by many of our customers outside the system, and based on their request, we have added it into our format as well. Also, in the horizontal format, only the statement totals were being shown for the previous year in the older version. Now we have added the ability to also display. Now the system automatically displays the details, the detailed schedule for previous year as well, one below the other. Coming to other format changes, I'll cover that in a little while. Okay. Sorry about that. Another frequent feedback that we were receiving was how the system was handling changes to the underlying data. Whenever something changed in your data, let us say a new version was received and you imported the JSON, or you changed some ledger mapping, or you passed a voucher entry, all the subschedules had to be revisited. You had to click perform button on tangible, intangible. You had to click perform button on the aging analysis page. That was perceived as a user a little requiring extra steps in the user flow every time you made a change. So we have addressed that by automatic alerts that come up when you generate the statement itself. So to demonstrate that, let me just add a voucher right now. Say it 3,000 rupees from my bank. So I'm just passing a voucher which simulates a change to the underlying books. So whenever there is a change to the underlying books, before the financials can be generated, the respective subschedule, all the subschedules need to be revisited once. So previously you had to go into each and every link here and then only go to financial statement generation. But now when you go into statement directly and try to generate, the system will bring up a pop-up with the complete or stale, incomplete or outdated sections. So you can directly address the changes and review it here. And without doing this, if you try to go back and generate, it will throw an error. So now I have rerun both the calculations and run a review. Now I close it, system will automatically generate. And now what is this? This is the revised schedule 3 ratios page, wherein I had done a manual update. So there are two ratios. One I had made it, I had switched it off, and the other one I have made a manual update to the numerator and denominator. And since there is a change to the underlying data, the system is bringing this up and highlighting the rows that I have manually updated. I had manually updated previously, to let me know that I have to review it once again because there is change in underlying data. All the other ratios which are auto-calculated, they get calculated automatically and they take care of the change. But what I have manually updated, I need to review and tell the system whether to keep my changes or I can change and save. Until I click this or make my changes and save, the system will continue to bring up the screen and show me those manually edited ratios in yellow color. So all these checks have been built in to ensure that the numbers presented in the financials are always current and reduce the amount of effort that you need to spend reviewing and cross-validating the financials against the books. I'll take a pause here if there are any questions. There are no questions as of now. I'll come back here after some time again. So now taking a quick stock check on what we have covered. Draft and final statement merged. Yes. Quick edit schedules we have covered. Section placement in a tab or as part of notes covered. PDF ability to generate default or hiding details, that is also covered. One-click export is covered. On-the-fly consolidated generation, we will cover. So multi-division consolidation is one of the most used features in our application, and we have customers whose clients have even 20-25 divisions. So as we all know, whenever we have multi-division clients, in the assignment selection, you have the option of selecting branch or head office or consolidated. You have to import the numbers and complete all the preliminary tasks for one division at a time. And finally, when you're done with all the divisions, consolidated statement was possible to generate. While this was kind of streamlined, whenever we had to make changes, there was some amount of loss of control as to whether those changes reflected in the consolidated statement and all that. And there were the number of mouse clicks going back and forth between divisions was quite high. So we have tried to address that and make it more user friendly in this way. So the first check that we have done is before we enable consolidated statement generation, we check whether the preliminary tasks are all complete for all the divisions under the consolidated statement. Only when all the preliminary tasks up to ledger reconciliation are complete for every division, then this statement generation at a consolidated level gets enabled. Until then, you will not even be able to go in. So there is no question of partial data, outdated, incomplete data reflecting in the financials. When you have completed all the corrections and you go in and generate the consolidated statement, along with the consolidated statement, all the branch-wise, division-wise statements are visible side by side. And here I'm generating the consolidated statement. Previously, the system was generating it in the background. You had to revisit the page. We've just made it easier by having a countdown timer. So this timer tells you how many seconds approximately you will have to wait, post which the statement gets generated and it's displayed on screen. Consolidation is done now, and you can see the consolidated statement over here, all the tabs. In addition, side by side, you have access to the head office and all the division-wise tabs. So these tabs are shown if you have 4 branches or less, but as you have more and more number of divisions under a consolidated client, the branches will be listed in a drop down over here, and you can select each branch to view its financials. And at any point in time, when you are at a branch, all the features of, let's say, fixed asset edit and everything is available to you in the respective branch. So let us say I want to make some changes to fixed assets in the same change. For a branch, at this time, I have the option to regenerate the division-wise statement, and I also have the option to generate the consolidated statement right here. And when we export the financials, here again the option will be shown as to whether you want to export the division-wise financials or consolidated financials. Okay. Right now it is selecting PQR spinning mill, and then when I go to consolidated, it will clearly show me that I'm exporting the consolidated statement. Now, what happens when some division level data undergoes a change? So let us say there are 3 branches, 3 divisions here, and I just made some changes to the data pertaining to one division. So this is division 1, head office. Sorry, I'll take a smaller branch to make it fast. Say I pass a voucher over here. Payment of 10,000 rupees is being made. So now the voucher has been passed for the division, which is spinning branch. And let us say I try to go and generate the consolidated financials. The system has detected that spinning branch data has undergone a change. And if there are multiple branches which have undergone change, there will be as many tabs here. So right now only spinning branch. So I have to regenerate and review these sections and say okay. Only then the system will be able to regenerate the consolidated statement. So this is another check to make sure that not only the respective branch statement, but also the consolidated statement data is always current. And whenever you click show report, let us say you don't want to regenerate, but you click show report, system will tell you the timestamp of the last generated report so that you know exactly what you're looking at. That's about multi-division consolidation. Still, I'm not seeing any questions. I would encourage everyone to ask your questions and get it clarified, or you can reach out to us via the support channels later. So here we complete all the financial statement changes and assignment landing page also. Now moving to Ask AI. What has changed in Ask AI? The change in Ask AI are not visible, but they have been done behind the scenes to improve accuracy, reduce the chances of hallucination, and also support larger data sets. So previously, when you had to attach, let's say 10,000, 20,000 vouchers, depending on what the model supported. So that was not a limitation of AssureAI, it was a limitation of the model. GPT model support, I think 100K tokens at a time, and Gemini supports 1 million tokens at a time. So the same limitation was extended to the Ask AI feature as well previously. Right now, we have overcome that and we have changed our approach of sharing data with LLM in such a way that the context limitation is overcome. So let me just take you through one sample question. I have some inputs from my domain team. I'll respond with this. Say sales book near year end that may predate actual dispatch. So I'm supposed to attach revenue from operation current year and previous year and ask this count. I'm not a chartered accountant, so I'm using the input that has been given to me. I can attach context to include all the vouchers and ledgers under revenue from operations, including the previous year data. And I have set my default model as GPT 5.4, which is one of the latest models. To this list, you can revisit. I mean, you can visit this list. You might find some newer models added in this version also. I create the session. While this is going on, I will show you some of the outputs from my previous charts. Sales book near year end that may predate actual dispatch. I've asked this question, attaching again the revenue context, and the system has correctly responded. Previously, the aggregation or the numbers were not very accurate. We have corrected that and eliminated, or as far as possible, reduced the possibility of hallucination by LLM. And it will also explain to you how it has arrived at this calculation. And when you ask a follow-up question, you can attach more context. The system will combine the old context with the new context and allow you to continue with the conversation. Another question is this: revenue expenditure wrongly capitalized to fixed assets. So this is the prompt wherein I have attached both fixed assets ledgers, fixed asset context, that is the fixed asset schedule context, and all the ledgers and vouchers under property, plant and equipment and the system has done this calculation. The possibilities are limitless. I would request you all to try this out. Until the end of July, we have given you free credits to the tune of 1,000 rupees to allow you to explore this feature to the extent possible. And we will keep refining. This refinement was done based on inputs received from some customers like yourself. So as we receive more and more inputs, we will be refining it further. Now back to our previous question. Yeah. So list of sales invoices dated in the last 30 days of the financial year in a table with columns. So you can exactly say what you want. Okay. Put double star against any invoice dated in the last 7 days of the year. So as detailed, you make the prompt. This is LLM. So people who have interacted with ChatGPT Claude will be comfortable giving specific instructions to the AssureAI feature also to get what you want. The output is detailed. So what is different? Why should you come to AssureAI within AssureAI and why not use ChatGPT directly? Number one, data security. There is a data masking that happens. So whenever I ask a question, mask sensitive data. So this is a setting. Of course, if you want, you can uncheck it, but you gain nothing by unchecking it. So we have made a default on. When you mask sensitive data, the system will automatically identify all the personally identifiable information, that is PAN, Aadhaar or whatever, and the various company names and debtors, creditors. It lists them here, and all these will be masked before the data is shared with the LLM for review. So number one, security is one big difference between AssureAI within AssureAI and interacting with LLM directly. Number two, ability to attach context from within the assignment. You have imported all the data, your books are here. You have the option of attaching ledgers, vouchers for specific heads and subheads the way you want. That is pertaining to the question that you are about to ask. You can attach trial balance alone. You can attach aging analysis schedule, fixed asset schedule. We will be adding more statement, financial statement context is also getting added. So we will be adding more to the list. So ability to attach context without spending any extra effort. You don't have to download, upload, validate, do data masking. None of it needs to be done manually when you ask AI from within AssureAI. Number three, eliminating the possibility of hallucination. We have a highly qualified technical team which is constantly watching the output that is provided by AssureAI and refining the way we interact with AssureAI to improve accuracy. So that is the other benefit you get when you interact with AI from within AssureAI. That is about the AssureAI feature. Coming to the fourth change, that was enhancement that was part of this release, ITR Excel. It's not a new feature, but it is just 1 minute. So over here under fieldwork, you have the option of downloading ITR Excel. This now supports Computax, Genius, and Winman. Depending on whichever tool you use for filing ITR, you can download the respective Excel, which is in the format as supported by the respective tool and the current year. And it is also sensitive to which period data you're downloading. So when you download for 25-26, the assessment year 26-27 format of these three applications will be downloaded. And when you go to a previous assignment also respectively. The numbers in the ITR template, this is, for example, for this client, the ITR template for 26-27, this is compatible with Winman. Okay. How does the system know which number goes where? For that, we have a configure ITR Excel screen. where you can select the client status. We support corporate, non-corporate and individual templates for ITR. Select the client status and the ITR2. On this screen, we have preloaded the mappings based on our understanding. And over and above this, if you find that some number or you have added some, you might have configured some new subheads which may not be covered by there. So you can show unmapped subheads and map them as to which row in the ITR, which sheet it needs to go. For example, here, long-term provision for on leave long-term. This is a new subhead that has been added. So I can select whatever I think is appropriate. You can select whatever you think is the exact row that it needs to go. This mapping totals and mapping detail screens are available for you to define which subhead goes into which cell in the ITR Excel, both for balance sheet, profit and loss, for all the three tools for the various client statuses. This is what determines the output that gets generated in the form of Excel. And whenever we introduce a new template, for example, for compute tax, we introduce a new template this release, there is an option to copy mapping from the previous year. Previous 24-25 template was already there. 25-26 has been added newly. So you can choose which one to copy. All the mappings get copied. Without spending too much extra effort, you are already compatible with the latest version. Whatever new fields are added in the new version, you may have to revisit it one time. This configuration is one time to be done by the administrator. Once this is done and saved, subsequently, every time ITR gets downloaded, this same mapping will be used by the system. It's about ITR Excel. I'll pause once again for any questions. Yeah, someone has raised hand. Ms. Padmini, I think you can see this chat option in your meeting screen. You can use this to ask your question. Since this is in webinar mode, everybody, the participants have been muted. I'll wait for your question. Please type whenever you have the question, you can type here. Okay, so there is, oh, sorry. Yes, sir. So the ratio you want. The ratios you wanted me to explain once again. So in the revised Schedule 3 financials, there are 11 ratios to be computed and disclosed. Okay. AssureAI automatically computes those ratios and includes them as part of your notes. And these ratios are derived figures from your financials. There is nothing new, something current ratios, current assets by current liabilities, and so on. The ratios that are part of the notes are visible here. And these are called revised Schedule 3 ratios, and you have an option to edit them. So for some reason, you are not convinced with AssureAI's calculation of the ratio, or this happens typically in case of debt service coverage ratio. If the data is not correctly captured, this ratio may be different from what you're expecting. So we have provided you with the ability to edit the numerator and denominator. So whenever you have edited the numerator and denominator, subsequently, if there is some change to the data, like a new version of JSON you received and everything gets regenerated, since you have touched this ratio, AssureAI will not recompute this. Okay. All the other ratios which you have left for the system to compute, they will all reflect the current, they will all get refreshed when you change the data. but the manually edited ratios will not get refreshed. So in such cases, after generating the financials, the same pop-up will be brought up with highlighting the ratios which you have manually edited, asking you to review and make changes if necessary, or there is an option called keep my changes. You can select that button so that the system will understand and interpret that the ratios are still current and proceed with statement generation. I hope that was clear. Is there any alternate method for ITR details without data? Sorry, you mean books import? Importing books into AssureAI, there is no way the system can generate ITR. And so the system is reducing your workload of importing the same data into multiple systems by providing this bridge, the Excel file, which you can directly import into your ITR tool. But you need to import the books into AssureAI, without which system would not be able to generate ITR. And JSON file not being able to generate in Tally. So this happens sometimes when the data is very large and this is a limitation of Tally itself, that it is quite memory intensive. Sometimes you need up to 32 GB RAM to handle some of the large data, especially if it has multiple periods. So we offer help in this case in two ways. One, we have a system that has 64 GB RAM that is set aside for this purpose. If you're okay sharing your data, we will generate the JSON and give you. That is number one. Number two, if you are able to generate data quarterly for using the same machine, you can generate JSON quarter-wise and hand it over to our support team. We will merge it into one single annual JSON, which will be large, but it may be difficult to generate it locally in your system. So we will do the merging and share with you. Both options are available to you. This needs to be done via a ticket raised to our support team. That answered your question. Thank you. The last item I wanted to cover today was ad hoc tasks. Sometime in March this year, we introduced the ability to log time. So timesheet capture. So on every screen, you might see that there is a clock button and a log time button that has been added. So whenever you work on a task within AssureAI, you can click the start timer, and when you stop work, you can stop the timer. System will count the time and it will make that the time log available when you go to the timesheet for submission. You can choose to submit timesheet on a daily basis, weekly basis. That's a call that your firm takes. So when we introduce this functionality, we got a feedback that it is not always that people are working on assignment level tasks. There are tasks outside the assignments also, like speaking to clients and business development initiatives, team calls, visiting the library, watching the budget. There are multiple other initiatives, multiple other tasks that people may be working on. So we added the ability to track ad hoc tasks within AssureAI to address this. There is this task dashboard which has been added. Here you can create an ad hoc task. Ad hoc task is something which is not part of an assignment. That's all. But it can still be related to a client. So for example, some particular client you are trying to go and visit them, and the travel time you want to log, or let us say you want to you're approaching the client to talk about what more services you can offer. All that may not count as part of a particular assignment. So you can log ad hoc tasks under a particular client, or any generic ad hoc tasks which you are doing as a team can be logged against my firm, which is nothing but your audit firm. So let us say I'm attending a training. So ad hoc tasks can have a maker and checker also, optionally. A checker is optional. You can set priority. start date and end date. The task type. The ad hoc task got created, and when you are actually working on the ad hoc task, it works like any other task with attachment, history, and comments and everything. So as you are working on the ad hoc task, you can log time and stop timer when you are done. Start the task, complete the task, and add attachments if necessary, and then. So while that is going on, while you are working on the task, the tracking of the same will happen from this task dashboard. Task dashboard has 3 different tabs. Assigned to me are tasks that are assigned by someone else to me. Assigned by me are tasks that I have assigned someone else. Self-assigned are tasks that I have assigned to myself. So these 3 tabs help you stay on top of your ad hoc tasks in addition to assignment tasks, along with the deadline, and you can track your time spent on these tasks as well. This is a feature which has been introduced about a month ago in AssureAI in the previous release. So you're talking about creditor greater than 180 days, I think. Yes, that is available. Under download miscellaneous report, we have 2 reports, creditor greater than 180 days and MSME 43BH. This is not the entire section, but about 70% of what you need to do for MSME 43BH is automated and shown here. Both these are readily available here. So this gives you the list of transactions against all the creditors along with the MSME yes or no taken from the aging analysis page, and it gives you the greater than 45 days, less than 45 days, and overdue at year end, not overdue at year end distinction. So this is raw data which can be summarized to come up with 43BH disallowance amount for Form 3. Is this what you were looking for, or was it this? So this is at a creditor level, balance greater than 180 and less than 180. I hope that answered your question. So we are nearing the end of our time limit, and we've also covered the agenda that was planned for today's meeting. I'll take a minute to summarize what was covered today. Predominantly, we covered all the features that were introduced in the latest release, which includes multiple user-friendliness enhancements to financial statements and some format changes also. Assignment landing page has been made more friendly. Ask AI more accurate, and we have overcome the size limitation on the context also. And ITR Excel is now available for WinMan and ad hoc task planning and tracking. Another thing we have done, which I'm not able to demonstrate here right now because of lack of sample data, is NPO financials. For NPOs, we have now made available the non-corporate format, and majority of the changes are already done. In a release that is upcoming from now, we will also add the NPO funds schedule that is part of notes in financials, and that will complete the changes required to comply with ICI guidance note for non-profit organizations. We are done. I will stay back for a few more minutes to answer any questions that may come. Thank you everyone for joining this call. I hope you'll all go back and use the new features of the tool and save considerable time as part of your day-to-day working within AssureAI. If there are no other questions, we can close the call now. And I look forward to hearing back from you with on the feedback on the latest release changes. Thank you.